Burkina Faso does take another giant step in modernizing the infrastructure under the tutelage of President Abraham Traore. What am I talking about? Well, they just opened up their 3,000 terabyte data storage program, which is key because most countries need to store their own data. And when they don't, you have to send it to other countries to be stored, and then you have data breach. But anyway, before we dive into it, take a listen to this video, see what I'm talking about, and then we're going to talk about it. Boom.
This is another step forward for Burkina Faso towards digital sovereignty. The country now has 2 data centers capable of hosting all public administration data. These data are now under control and secured by Burkinabe engineers. These 2 data centers have a storage capacity of about 3,000 terabytes, and each ministerial department will be able to host between 100 and 300 virtual servers for the deployment of these digital platforms.
All the platforms we have, all the user data we possess, we will now have enough space to store them. So whether it's civil status data, medical data, or even tax data, we will now be able to host them on these platforms. You know that the government is committed to a large-scale campaign to digitize public administration procedures. So these infrastructures will specifically be used to host all the platforms that we are currently setting up for the benefit of users. But even better, as His Excellency the Prime Minister mentioned in his speech, we still have platforms and data stored abroad in private data centers. We are going to initiate a process to bring back all this data, all these platforms into these new, modern, and secure infrastructures.
And the ambition of Aminata Zerbo Sabane's department for 2026 is to have 0 public administration data stored abroad. For Rim Talba Jean Emmanuel Odrago, data is a strategic asset, and mastering it is a vital issue of national security, sovereignty, independence, and dignity.
Those who don't control their data expose themselves to dependency, vulnerability, and domination.
That is why I strongly reaffirm that digital sovereignty is inseparable from national sovereignty. Hosting our data outside our territory or in infrastructures we do not control amounts to giving up a part of our self-determination. And that Burkina Faso, under the progressive popular revolution, can no longer accept.
And while the inauguration of these data centers marks an important step in Burkina Faso's journey toward national sovereignty, it is only one step, as our ambitions are even greater looking ahead to 2028.
The subsequent phase of this ambitious project will be the comprehensive development and construction of a national data center that is designed to strictly adhere to even more demanding international standards, featuring significantly expanded storage and processing capacities. This future data center will be intended not only to meet the growing needs of the modern public administration, but also those of the private sector, NGOs, and national institutions, in order to support our digital ecosystem.
These 2 data centers cost the Burkinabe state around 16 billion CFA francs. Their management will be handled by Burkinabe engineers. Following the official inauguration of this state-of-the-art facility, Burkina Faso now proudly positions itself as one of the leading 3 nations in the entire sub-region in terms of its advanced infrastructure for digital data storage and management capability.
So guys, there you have it. So this is great news. So now Burkina Faso no longer has to send out their data to be stored in other countries in private firms. And even though it's stored in private firms and you're paying for it, most of the time they steal these information or sold it, and then they put out a press briefing saying they have a data breach. Most of the time when I hear about data breach, it's just them stealing your information or sell it to the highest bidder. And then the country is now vulnerable because all the medical information, tax information, every governmental information, everything from security to personal data. So, and these things are very important for because when you have data on someone, you can basically, you know, the whole life story. So you know how to use it to cripple a country. So, and if you know, sometimes you have naysayers say, what's so important about this data storage facility? Let me break it down for you. You have an iPhone. You know you have limited storage. So now you have to buy storage online. So you buy memory in the cloud, right? when they store this memory in the cloud, don't think it's secure and safe and no one can see information, because most of the time you always hear Google announce data breach, Facebook announce the data breach, and they say, oh, like 5 million people data was stolen, or that's what they always say. But most of the time it's sold. They sold the information, these data to the highest bidder, and then they disguise it as a data breach. So this is why it's important for every country to have their own data storage facility. And the fact that Arium Choris saw this and say, you know what, with all the attempt and to destabilize Burkina Faso, we cannot have our data in foreign countries. So he's putting in the process now to all data stored out of the country will now be returned to Burkina Faso. And this gonna last, according to the backstory I read, it's gonna be around 5 years. It's gonna cost him 54 million. But the cost is not the issue. Security is the key issue in this video. That's the main point. Security. Because imagine if I'm sure he's under attack from every which angle. From every angle. There's about 24 attempts on his life. And not only attempt on his life, attempt to destabilize Burkina Faso. So when people know that, honestly, I was trying to find out which country might be housing this data, but I couldn't find the information. But from what I know of the Sahel nations, there are former French colonies. So I'm thinking maybe it's the French, or it's some other African countries. The only other African country I think that has a big data capacity to hold is maybe South Africa. And I know they don't. I don't think they see eye to eye. So who knows? But anyway, the facts still remain. They will be receiving their data, and this will cut down on the corruption for one, because now this data, when it go out, no one cannot use it to try to coerce someone against Ibn Chori. So everything about this I love, and that's why Ibn Chori is a great leader, because he does not come in the media and say, oh, and give speeches and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that for you and vote for me. No, he take action, put things in place, and most of the time we always hear about it after the program is finished, or after it's there. That's when they come to the media and say, oh, I did this, I did that. So he's not a talker, he's a doer, and I wish we have more presidents like this. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You don't know that works. Help the channel to grow. Thanks for watching. Boom.